What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Phantom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I'm here with Anthony and Mike, and we are discussing season 2, episode 8 of Marvel's What If series. This is the 1602 episode, and my first thoughts is Tom Hiddleston reciting Shakespeare. I'm all in.
Oh my God. Like
I
for real.
mean,
Like
it was a
proud
great
for real.
start to the episode.
Yeah. This whole episode was just I would see it almost made me go out and get the 1602 series just so I could read it. But I heard enough online that this is kind of it's more loosely based on it than actually like word for word based on it.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
but
it's
it
it's loosely based, but it still has a lot of the same elements. So,
yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it was crazy. Like from how they did the yellow jackets. I was like, what the hell? And then it's like fucking the Hulk in this thing just stole it for me. I was just like, I mean, he was fucking
Happy.
hilarious. Him and Happy, yeah, just oh my God, like crazy.
The episode was fun. It was I forgot how much I liked this episode when I watched it the first time, and then when I rewatched it today, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is a really fun episode." But can can Peggy and Steve just have their happy ending? Can we just
Nope,
give it to them at this point? Just give it to them.
nope.
I just
That
want to see it.
no,
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 them not being together is a fixed point in time. We went over this last season in the Doctor Strange thing.
You know
It's
what?
just like Doctor Strange and what's her name not being together.
I'm
Is
not
that they are
buying it.
they're a fixed point in time. It just cannot happen. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm with you.
no,
No,
because
I'm with
in our regular timeline, in the regular timeline, he goes back and has life with her, so
right.
it can happen. It
you.
has
Yeah.
happened.
But I
Um
want to be able to like see it happen. I don't want him to have to go back in time and then come back as an old man with a wedding ring. And we already know like there's only one person that he's ever going to go back and do that for. I need to like, it was right there. It's always just right there. And then it's snatched away.
and
I'm just,
this is the second time this season that it happened. I mean, she kind of gets him back as in the Hydra Stomper. But then he goes shooting off into the atmosphere, and then we get this one, and then he turns out to be a man out of time,
mm-hmm.
and it's like he just
Literally out of time.
literally out of time, yeah, and it's like it's like they just can't win. It's just, I mean, crazy. I feel bad. I'm just like every time I see her, I'm like, oh, what are they gonna do this time? It's
Right.
like they're gonna
Like,
find a
what new
different.
ways are they going to break Peggy's hearts?
Exactly.
And ours, or and mine at least.
No, you're breaking mine too because I'm like, please just let them have something. Damn,
Just
No,
it's like
it's not breaking my heart. They don't need to be together.
shut up. Didn't nobody
stop it.
ask you not?
Look, man, you just had to be contrary, didn't you?
Nobody asked you. So
But
anyway,
yeah,
let's talk about this episode. This episode picks up at the end of I think it was episode 5, the Hydra Stomper episode where Peggy and Scarlet Witch were about to go out and, do some stuff, and Peggy gets sucked into this red portal in the floor. So it turns out there's something going on in this particular world, and there's like these rifts that's coming into the sky, and it's basically sucking people in. And so Scarlet Witch and the other people, well, the other Avengers that are in this time, they summon someone who can help them figure out what the anomaly is that's causing this problem. And like I said, we start out the episode with Loki reciting Shakespeare in a play. You have Thor there, you have Queen Hela, and it was
okay,
very
hold up. I wanted to go along with that, but I'm like, that's not how monarchies work, is it? Like, brother and sister can't be a king and queen.
He
Like
no,
that's
wasn't
she
you.
became the
he wasn't
queen
king.
because she disappeared.
What was he? I thought he was king when
No,
they were.
he was just there. He was her brother.
He was like, I guess you could say
Oh,
like her right
Her,
hand
her
person, her
hand, basically.
successor. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, okay. I was about to
And then
say
when
because
she
I was like,
disappears, he basically ascends.
Yeah.
okay,
Because
I
she's
was just like,
older, remember? She's the older sister.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Because I was about to say that just seemed weird. I was like, what the hell y'all doing, Marvel?
No,
Like,
Marvel is not
hold up.
doing that. Mm-mm.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
all right,
Now,
I'm good then.
I'm sure Lori, the historian, could probably tell us when that has happened. Maybe half brother and half sister.
There's no
I'm
shortage of
sure.
stories of a shortage of stories of interfamilial comminglings in royal families, to be
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
But that was just a little too close for comfort for me. I was just like,
Yeah. No, basically she got sucked into the sky. Peggy couldn't save her, and because she was gone, Thor ascended.
Yeah.
yeah,
And Thor
that sucked
lost his
because
goddamn mind. He
Well,
like, it's all your fault, witch. It's like, well, not witch, just Peggy, because Peggy couldn't save her. Did you see what was happening? I didn't
oh,
see you. I didn't see you lift a hand or try to
right,
save her.
right.
you're the one that got
Come on.
powers. He's the one that has powers that could have probably helped her,
He
and
could
he ain't do a
fly.
damn thing.
So
Yeah,
with his
that
hammer.
part.
So what's
Your
up,
ass
dude?
But
sitting
he's
there.
the king at the well, or he's the second in line at this point. Like,
Mm-hmm.
also, this is why Scarlet Witch brought Peggy to their universe, their dimension, because she needed someone who could help them figure this out or stop it. And the problem is that apparently this keeps happening, and there's nothing that Peggy has been able to do yet to stop it from happening. So once the queen gets taken, Thor is just all pissed off, like, oh, sees her, she's not doing what we're paying her to do. I don't know.
Okay, first of all, what was she going to do? It's like all she is strong. Like how was she going to hold the rift together like this? Like hold it and grip it? Like what the hell was she going to do? It's like she going to throw a shield at it? That ain't going to do shit. Why don't you get somebody who actually has powers and that can do it? They had somebody, the Scarlet Witch. Towards the end, you saw that she could kind of hold it off. Like why didn't she go get another Scarlet Witch to like combine her powers and combine their powers and just go and hold that shit together?
I don't
I
think
mean,
you
it's
can
like
have I don't think you can have two of the same people in the same universe. I mean, we all, no matter what property it is, whether it's a Marvel property, something in science fiction, whatever, you know that anytime two beings that are generally the same occupy the same space or the same, it never works out well.
Yeah, this is
No,
that
they
wibbly wobbly, timey
oh,
wimey
yeah.
shit that we don't like really,
Well, what about
that
when
anime hates.
Captain America saw Captain America's ass, in Endgame.
He
So
fought him. They actually
yeah,
fought.
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, he wasn't
I
there
don't
long
think that
enough to
rule.
cause a rift in space time.
Yeah, I
Do we
don't
know
think
they
that
did? Do we
rule.
know
I
that
don't
it
think that
did happen?
rule. I don't think that rule kind of applies in the MCU. I
I
don't.
think it applies when the writer wants it to apply,
Yeah,
and then it doesn't when the author doesn't want it to apply.
yeah.
It just
They haven't really done a good job of explaining some of the things that they're doing with the multiverse because like someone okay, well,
But didn't they do that in Multiverse of Madness? They
yeah,
kind of
but sort of, but they're not really explaining the incursions because in Multiverse of Madness, if I remember correctly, Reed Richards says, "Oh, when someone from another universe who's not supposed to be in this universe, it creates an incursion."
mm-hmm.
But then Peggy Carter wasn't from that universe. She wasn't. The incursions were already happening,
But
right.
and Doctor Strange was bouncing around. He was bouncing around, and he wasn't causing any incursions where he was. So it's just I don't know. They haven't done a real good job of kind of explain. It's just like what we talked about last time. They're not doing a real good job of explaining how the dimensions work, how the multiverse works. They're just it's almost like they're sort of kind of winging it and just hoping that we just go along with it, whatever it is. But it just
They're
seems a
kind of
little bit
just put
weird.
they're putting together neat things that look good and that they can like throw a lot of flash in, but they don't necessarily go together. But they're like, well, make it look exciting. Throw a couple of catchy catchphrases in there and move on.
Yeah, and someone has this theory about
What?
Loki holding not me. This is not my theory. I don't do theories. So
Whatever.
that
Whatever.
he is that so um what He Who Remains was doing was pruning the timelines. So he was making it one main timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And without him, the timelines, there would be so many that they would basically, the universe would all just be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
What Loki is doing, since he's taken over, he's sort of pruning, but in a different way. Because Watu says, he tells Peggy he has watched millions of universes die. But
Mm-hmm.
there's an infinite number of universes. So if there's an infinite number of universes, millions is not really a large number.
Mm-hmm.
But he's probably getting rid of timelines that aren't important, don't make any sense, that maybe damage all the other timelines. So
Mm-hmm.
he's sort of managing the tree as opposed to just making it one thing. You,
Mm-hmm.
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I, it still doesn't really explain what they're doing, but it's possible that the incursions may be him just being like, okay, I'm not going to save that timeline. It's a lost cause. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And some timelines he's maintaining the integrity because they're important.
Right. But I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they kind of say that in this one too, as far as the Watcher, when he's doing his narration and he's talking about the fact that some timelines or some worlds are just meant to die, you know, and then some of them you try to save, and that's what Peggy is there to do. But I found it very funny that while he's sitting there doing his narration, this is when we realize she can hear him. She's like, excuse me, I'm trying to work here and you're being disturbing. He was like,
I
wait,
can
you
hear
can hear me?
you.
She was like, yeah, sometimes. So, but
I wonder if she can do that because she's aware of him,
probably.
Yeah.
or I don't, yeah.
That's what I would think, because and she even says she can only hear him sometimes.
Yeah.
So it
So what?
might just be when she's I don't know, it could be just when she's, let's say, in a dimension that's not her own, is when she can be more aware of it, or when that line kind of blurs, because I don't think she was hearing him in um
Universe.
the other universe, the one that she technically belongs to, I think that was. So I don't
So
know.
that other Natasha could probably hear her too. The one that they took from the world where it was just her and Hawkeye, and put her in the other
No,
world.
where it was just her. She's the only
Okay,
person
it was
alive.
just her. Well, it would just
It
been
was just
her.
her.
Yeah, it would just been her. Yeah, you took her out of that world and put her into another, so she could probably do it too.
Mm.
Maybe it's a thing where once you meet him and you interact with him, like you kind of have a connection with him, like, and he
Could
can,
be.
you
Mm.
know.
Yeah, and then the fact that that doesn't happen often is probably why it's surprising to him too, because he was like, "Oh, you can hear me," and she was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, sometimes."
Like, the fuck?
Right, right. But I mean, and even with that, he was offering to give her a way home, because, like we mentioned, because she couldn't save Hela, Thor is basically like, "Oh, arrest her. She needs to go sit in a jail for whatever." But I'm like, dude, she won. Y'all stole her from her own time to come
Mm-hmm.
and help you with your problems. She probably would have been very happy staying where she was so that she could go try to do what she needed to do to find Steve wherever he may be, whatever. She didn't
Right.
ask to come here. Y'all brought her here.
Yeah. And even the Watu says, he's basically like, this timeline, they got no chance. He's like, I looked into the future. There's no future for this timeline.
Right.
This is a lost cause.
Like, come on, let me take you home.
Yeah. You,
Some,
you don't want no part of this.
it's
I
some
got you.
timelines are meant to be destroyed or to die. And she was like, not on my watch. Okay. But she's choosing to stay there and try to help, and you're sending your men after her. And I was like, okay, whatever, Thor. And up until the end of the episode, it's like Thor is seeming pretty useless in this episode. Like you said, God of Thunder has these powers, and he's just sitting there. I was like, what are you doing? And Loki is
Nothing.
no help, but Loki Loki in this episode was just
Loki's over
basically
here trying
like,
to be Iago and Othello, and I'm just like, bruh,
right. Because
like
Thor was like, where's the come, brother, let's fight. He was like, where's the hammer I gave you? I kind of misplaced it.
I know where it is. I know where it is. I know where it
Where is
is.
it?
Where is it?
Where is it?
I saw it. It's in Tony's whatchamacallit. It's in Tony's lab.
Oh, it was his
It's like
workshop.
in his workshop. It's like if you look, it's like there's like a moment, and it's like I saw a shout out to New Rock Stars. They did a freeze frame of it. Like there's a moment where Peggy just first meets him, and he's like, I got something. And he moves, and you see it in the background, like,
Ah,
ooh.
he stole
And there are
it.
like there are other couple things in there too that look like something that looks like a Mandalorian helmet. There's like a couple other things. One that looks like the Mark One helmet. It's like there are like a few other like little Easter eggs in there. That's
Ah.
crazy. So it's like I gotta. I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta go back and watch that shit again now and freeze frame it. Anthony, you can do it with me if you want.
No, no, no. We do not freeze frame over here. No, that doesn't happen. No
Whatever. I know for a
freeze,
fact your
no
wife
freeze
freeze
frame.
frames, so don't tell
No,
that
she
lie.
pauses. That's not the same thing.
uh,
That's
Okay.
not the same thing.
so yeah, okay.
So
And that's
Peggy's
her, not me. Her, not me. Be
okay.
clear.
Okay. So Peggy's on the run. She's trying to figure out what she needs to do to help save this world, and she happens to eavesdrop on a meeting that King Thor is having with his I don't know, his round table, his advisors. So you've got Nick Fury, you've got a very irritating Happy Hogan, you've got the Scarlet Witch. So you got a few of these things, and basically what they find out is that there is this person that they're terming the Forerunner, someone who is out of time and is the reason why these rifts are happening. So obviously, this is somebody who arrived there before Peggy, because that was when the issue started, and they called her, or they stole her to come and help with that. So Peggy figures out, okay, I need to figure out who this person is, and then we can fix it. So she goes to Tony Stark. Now, let's go back to our conversations that we talked about with the voice actors sounding like the actual actors from the live
This
action.
dude is fucking on point.
Oh
Like
my
crazy.
God. He's so good, because I had to keep looking. And it's crazy because I'm sitting here doing a double take, and I'm like, why am I doing a double take on an animated? Because it's definitely not going to be RDJ, but he sounded so much like him. And it was kind of jarring, because you do have you have Chris Hemsworth in this one. You have Jon Favreau.
You have everybody. You have everybody except for ScarJo, RDJ, and the other Chris.
Right. Yeah, shout out. Yeah.
No, because Scarlet Witch is not Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, she's
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
she is.
It's everybody except ScarJo, RDJ, and the other Chris.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because I thought Elizabeth Olsen didn't come back for this.
Nope,
But,
it's
okay.
right here on IMDb.
Okay.
Yeah, and shout out to Mick Wingert. Like this whole season, he's been killing Tony Stark's voice. Like he's been nailing it.
But in
really
this particular episode, he sounded just like him. And then the wisecracks, Peggy Carter saying all the big words, and he was like, ooh, he's like a kid in a candy store. Every time she said something, he was like, ooh, say some more of those big words, flux capacitor.
Yeah, shout out to Peggy Carter, also watching Back to the Future as part of her catching up. So
yeah,
like Back to the
And shout out to her for explaining the incursions better than Marvel has. Two pieces of gum stuck together.
Right. And it's funny because when the Watcher was trying to tell her, he was like, I don't think you understand what's going here. She was like, yeah, you basically have two different dimensions, and they're kind of stuck together like two wads of gum. And he was like, oh, so you do understand. Like, yeah.
One thing, back to the super soldier serum, it increases your intelligence too.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes
it
we can
does
forget
really
that. Yeah, it does.
You couldn't tell it with Happy Hogan in this episode.
No. Well, that was the Hulk's
That was
blood.
Hulk blood.
That was the super
I
soldier
know.
serum.
He ain't get none of
Right.
Banner's brilliance from that. Like none of it.
Maybe it did increase his intelligence because Happy is not the brightest light bulb in the
Stop.
chandelier. He really
He's
isn't.
not.
He
We
is
we
not.
we can't. No, come
He
on
is
now.
not.
That's so mean.
No,
It's
it's a
true.
fact.
But it's
It's true.
mean. You're not supposed to say that out loud.
Uh, Look, man.
I'm the head of security. I have a badge. I have a badge. Yeah, dude. Okay, you do.
Okay. So anyway, um, so yeah, so Peggy explains it to Tony. Tony tells her, okay, well, we can do this, we can do that, but I need the stone from King Thor's scepter. She's like, okay, so I guess I need to steal it. Do you know any thieves? And he was like, yes. And this is where we meet Rogers Hood and his band of merry men.
It's
I hate
interesting
that
that
name.
the
I hate it. I
Rogers
hate
Hood.
that
Yeah,
fucking name. Oh my
yeah.
god. Y'all could have come up with something better. Like God dang.
Nah,
Like
that
like
was the best they could do.
like Steve Hood would have been better. Like
No,
Captain
No,
Hood. Captain Hood. Captain
Captain.
Hood.
but he's not a captain in this
They
universe.
could just call them the Hood.
No,
Something.
he is not Oliver Queen.
Oh,
No.
America's Hood. I don't know. America's ass Hood.
But
Um,
But it's like
I
Rogers
do
Hood just
find it
sounds weird.
interesting.
It's like
I,
it just
wait,
sounds weird to me.
yeah, I do find it interesting. It's the time stone. We find out it's the time stone and not the
mhm,
mind stone.
yeah,
Hmm.
So it's once again, what if things are just slightly different? Well, not slightly, but very different.
yeah. But yeah, you have what? Steve, you have Bucky, you have
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Who else was it? I think it was just those three, right?
Yeah.
I think
And they're robbing from the rich to give to the poor, and they just happen to be robbing Loki. Loki, who is giving this pitch about his friend Will and this play that he's writing about Iago, and all the women that he's telling about, they're looking at him like, oh my God, if he tells this story one more damn time.
It's like, yeah, your boy Bill. I heard he doesn't even write his own stuff. Yeah, how about that?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
okay. Steve and Peggy, they see each other. Of course, Steve's Peggy in this world has died, and Peggy's Steve is who knows where in this Hulk Buster, if he's even or Hydra Stomper, if he's even alive. Um, so of course we see the little sparks between them, and Bucky sitting here looking like, okay, can we get a move on this? Like, let me tell you, the sarcasm and the one-liners from all of the characters in this episode were funny. Again, I enjoyed this episode so much. You have Bucky's humor, and him and Scott have this like little playful banter, which I was like, okay, that's weird, but I like it, especially given that Falcon is nowhere in this episode. So I was like, okay, Bucky needs somebody to play off of. Ant-Man seems to be a
Right.
good choice. Um, and then
I'm glad they didn't try to shoehorn Sam into this episode. And I've been like, oh, what the
mm,
flying Moor? Just
no,
like Morgan Freeman
no.
in that other in Kevin Costner's Robin Hood. Just like, oh, he's a Moor. He's just gonna be like,
You have Nick Fury in here. Why couldn't you have Sam? Like all the, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm not going to.
I just
I'm going to put
you
the soapbox away. I'm just going to put it away, and
yeah.
I'll
I
save
see.
it another.
I didn't think about that. They do have Nick Fury there, but this is
but
why
it's
I hate when they do movies about medieval times and try and just like because it's like who do you put in there? It's like it's just it's
First
so
of
many.
all, Mike. First of all, this is MCU 1602. I mean, this is not real. It ain't even realistic. It's not even designed to be realistic. You could
Yeah.
put Sam in here, and it's not a problem.
yeah.
You have shrinking people. That is not real. You have men that transform into monsters, literal monsters. That is not real. You
Okay.
have gods walking amongst people. That is not real. You can
Hmm.
stick an additional black man in the background. Would it have hurt you? to do. You know what? I'm gonna stop.
No.
Go ahead, continue.
You know
I'm
the deal.
sorry, my bad.
They already hit
I
their
know I'm
quota.
preaching to the choir. Let me stop.
They already hit their quota. They ain't gonna put that shit in. They ain't gonna put another one of us in there.
Can you name? Speaking of which, can you name the number of times we have seen Sam and Nick at the same time in the scene in any of the 19 or 20 or so movies?
Mm-mm. They haven't.
Crickets. Exactly. Thank you.
Mm-mm.
I proved my point.
They introduced Sam in Winter Soldier, and Nick Fury got.
Oh wait, I
killed.
changed that. I proved your point. They meet their quota. And
I'm not
I
arguing
guess
that.
let's give Don Cheadle a pass. We don't really count him. And him and Nick only had one scene the other. It was a secret invasion. We can't even count that bullshit.
Yeah, because that technically wasn't even him. It's like,
More than one
And then
scene
if you
together.
can have Sam, you can have Don Cheadle and Sam in the same scene because the two of them do not equal one Samuel Jackson.
Sam Jackson. We got point totals. Yeah,
Yes, I'm telling you, one Samuel Jackson is the equivalent of a Don Cheadle and Anthony Mackie.
I'm trying to find flaws with this, but I can't. It's like I can't even argue it with.
I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the. I apologize for the segue, but you had to mention there was no Falcon in this thing, and I don't understand. You brought everybody back. You literally brought everybody back, and you even had replacement voice actors for the people you couldn't bring back, but you couldn't find it in your hearts and wallets, Disney, to add Anthony Mackie in here. If I was Anthony Mackie, I would have a problem. Has he been in any of these? Have we seen Falcon at all?
No,
not in this season. No,
and I find that's
last season either.
Find that a problem.
But I mean,
no Don Cheadle, no War Machine either, no Rhodey either. Anyone see anything wrong with that?
I mean, it's like okay, even when Chadwick was here, we never saw Chadwick and Fury in the same thing either.
Because, like you said, Mike, they met their quota.
I'm trying to find some flaw in this, but it's like I can't do it. So
they're lucky I'm a forgiving person because normally stuff like this I just throw it away and I won't watch it, but I watch it.
But I mean, come on, like if you think about it, with everything else, well,
stop, Hanico. Don't come up with a defense. Just stop right there.
No, because I'm saying one of the things that we've always talked about and that we've been talking about with Marvel is the fact that they are probably one of the more diverse properties out there as far as some of the things that we've seen. So I don't know. I just feel like maybe there's a logical explanation as to why certain characters aren't in certain things.
They literally brought everybody back for this episode and threw them all together.
Black Widow isn't in this one.
For a second, she is.
No, she's in the recap from the previous episode. She's not in this episode at all.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there was no Black episode in Black Widow in 1602, but she was technically in this episode.
Yeah, but how many white women do you have in this episode?
3.
Scarlet Witch, Peggy Carter,
and Hela.
She was in the episode for all of 10 seconds. That doesn't count.
Guess what? Anthony Mackie got 0 seconds. Don Cheadle got 0 seconds.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I'm not missing Don Cheadle.
T'Challa got 0 seconds.
We know how you feel. No, we're not getting.
T'Challa got a mention. He got a mention. The King of Wakanda gave me this sword. Why even?
That's not even T'Challa. That's not even T'Challa. That's the 1602 Black Panther. Whoever the hell that is.
True. But
that's like boom shaka, or whoever.
I'm just saying we don't know. We don't know.
That's fine. Okay, let's move.
I like for them to explain their logic.
They're not going to explain that shit. Let's just move on.
Again, one Nick Fury is the equivalent of an Anthony Mackie and a Don Cheadle. That's why.
Okay. I can't give a good argument why they couldn't.
But back to the Yellow Jacket gun.
That shit was funny as hell. I
Were we
was
on
just
the Yellow
like,
Jackets, or what were we talking about? I think we were talking about Roger's Hood
yeah, and
and
him getting
his band of merry men, and
and him saying the line from the line her saying the line that Cap said in what's Endgame. He was like, "Can you tell me about him?" And she was like, "No, I don't think I will." And I was like, "Y'all had to shoehorn that in there, didn't you?" Because I
oh
was like,
yeah, yeah, you're right.
shoehorn, just like
That just went straight over my head.
just yeah. I was like, really? I was like, okay, god damn it, whatever, fine, you got it in there, congratulations.
Yeah, but anyway,
It's
she and
like because
him.
it kind of fit. That it was like I was like, why did she say that? That was like, I know why she said it, but why? Like you didn't have she didn't have like whatever. Just move on. Yeah, okay. It just
I
pissed
mean, I know
it
the
didn't piss me off. It
why.
just confused me. I was like, I know y'all wanted to like kind of tie it together. I'm like, okay, good job, but it was like y'all could have found a better way to do that.
No, I think it made sense the way that she for her to use that line right there, because it's kind of like the whole thing when you're time traveling and you see a version of yourself, and if that one asks questions about themselves and it's like, no, it'll be better for you not to know anything or whatever, because
Yeah,
it might mess something up. Same thing with this. I mean, there isn't really anything that he could tell her that I think would be damaging to whatever, because his version of Peggy Carter is dead. Whereas her version of Steve Rogers, she doesn't know if he's dead or not. You know, we just know what happened when we saw him go into the red room, but he had the Hydra Stomper on. We don't know, he could still be around. And she's probably like, yeah, I'm not about to mess with that. I'm not about to do anything that might jeopardize my Steve. So it
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they tried to shoehorn it in there, but it's okay.
I mean, at least they
It,
put it in there in a
it
way
just
that
goes to
did make sense.
yeah, it just, I just knew, I still knew that they weren't gonna give him a happy ending. I'm like, y'all just teasing. Like, you're just giving them conversations to have where they can smile and look down and look up and look into each other's eyes, and then it's like, y'all just gonna mess with our emotions. You're plucking with our emotions, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, so.
Yeah. But
But yeah, the Yellow Jackets were funny as hell. Like when the first one came in there, he was like, "Vanguard," and I was like, "What the hell?" I mean, it's like it's pretty cool how they. I'm like, what? I guess did the Scarlet Witch give them an enchantment like that to use like that? Because it's like that can't be, or like I don't. I want to know how that happened.
they could have well, I was gonna say they could have stolen technology, or they could have stolen,
Nope.
because even Scott was like, hey, shrinking, that's my thing. So I don't know, because Scarlet Scarlet Witch, I feel like, because she was the one who brought Peggy here, I don't think she would have done anything that would have like deliberately caused harm to Peggy, and they were there to cause harm. Yes, they wanted to bring her in, but they were also trying to fight her. So,
I
no, if
mean,
I think,
she could have done this way before she pulled Peggy in. Like she could have done that like for the king. Like I need small soldiers that can get into somewhere. So she's
but
like,
Thor
okay.
wasn't king then.
Hela could have done it. I mean, there's anyone who was monarch and who Scarlet Witch worked for could have said, "I want small soldiers that I can get in anywhere." She's like, "Okay,
Mm.
I'll do some poof abracadabra. I'll let peanut butter sandwiches, and there you go." And then they could shoot soldiers in through windows. So it's like anybody could have done it. It couldn't not just Hela or Thor. It just could have been any monarch. It could have been Odin, because Odin's probably king before them, like in 1563 or whatever. So it's like, but we don't have that comic, so we don't know.
Mm.
I
I
was
don't know.
just under the impression how the universe, how the this is again, they didn't really explain how this shit works,
Sure didn't.
but I think it's supposed to be them in their present state, but in the wrong time. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
some of the stuff that they have, and some like Happy being who he is and being able to change, even Because even Steve is not from this time. He's not from this universe. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
because we find out that he's the forerunner.
Right. But I get the feeling that they are present day, but because of how the incursion is working, the time stone has kind of screwed them up and put them in the wrong time. Because even Ant-Man, I mean, Scott has his technology, like
Mm-hmm.
he's shrinking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
So
know.
are there more? So are there more forerunners then? Like
No, I just think that their timeline, their universe got screwed up, and they were
they
in.
got technology because of it?
No, they were the time has changed. Like the present day turned into 1602.
So is that why after Steve presses the button to the device to go back to be sent back to his time, is that why everybody else disappeared?
Yeah, because then it corrected it. It fixed itself.
Okay.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
I know. Again, they didn't do a very good job of explaining.
Yeah, because I thought it was weird. Like after Steve went back, it's like she was all of a sudden she's there alone. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like where did
Yeah, because
everybody else go?
they weren't supposed to be in 1602. They were supposed to be back in the present time, in the present day.
Mm. But do you think it was something similar to Steve? Because once it's revealed through the machine that Steve is the forerunner, he kind of remembers how he got there.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
know, he says, they were in a battle with this space giant talking about Thanos. He had this glove and he went to attack him and he ended up hitting the time stone instead of the glove. And then he ended up there. And I don't know, it probably wiped his memory, but maybe when he hit the stone, I wonder if all of them were from that particular time.
Yeah. Well, see, in the comic book, I know it's not really the same, but in the comic book, they never explained it either. It was just like just for some reason or another, everybody was born 400 years before they were supposed to, or 300 years before they were supposed
Ah,
to be born.
okay.
And so they were born and raised in that time period, and they became the heroes of that time period.
Mm,
So they didn't really explain it here, but I think the writers sort of kind of took that approach, like, well, let's kind of explain it without really explaining it,
mm-hmm.
which is why they all go back to the original time.
Okay.
So I think it may have had, which is probably why they put the time stone in the scepter instead of the mind stone,
Okay.
because then you can kind of rationalize it that whatever the incursion was doing screwed with the time stone
Okay.
and shifted all of them as a group back to 1602,
Okay.
or some point before that.
Right. Now, here is my question. So, Steve punches the button, he gets sent back to his time, everybody else gets sent back to their time. Why did Peggy not get sent back?
Because she's not from that universe.
So,
Yeah,
is
she was
that
brought into that universe, so it's only people that were in that universe at
Yeah.
that
okay?
time.
Okay.
Yeah. They're all, her and Steve are not from that universe. But he was the reason why the incursion was happening. So when he went back to where he was supposed to be, everything
Everybody else.
kind of got fixed.
Okay. But okay, so now even though we see Strange Supreme show up at the end, but if Strange Supreme hadn't have shown up, what, Peggy was supposed to stay there? Or was
No, the one she could have called the Watcher and
The
walked away
Watcher would
too.
have, yeah,
The
she's
Watcher
like,
was
I'm done
trying to
here.
get her. He was
But
trying to get her home.
and I understand it, but remember from what we know of the Watcher, and I know that he kind of changed this up a little last season, but he's not supposed to interfere. So my
But he
question,
literally offered her
He
to
literally
take her
told her,
home
he said, "You ready
early.
to go? Let's go.
Yeah,
You ready to
early in
go?
the episode. He was like, this place is doomed. You want to be out?
Let's go. I'll give you a ride. Let's go."
Right. So now she's like, okay, I'm done here. He's like, okay, cool. You
yeah, but
did something I didn't
instead
think you could
Strange
do.
Supreme comes in, and again, going back to our discussion from the last episode, if Strange Supreme is now all of a sudden popping up all these places when he's supposed to be watching
Can't trust it.
Ultron and Killmonger, something
Right.
ain't right.
Right. Can't trust it.
Something is not right.
Nope.
No.
Hell no. Something's up. It's like, yeah. And see, Peggy should have been one of the first ones to know something was up. If she sees once she sees it, I can't wait to see this next episode because she had to know as soon as she saw Strange Supreme. It's like, why aren't you watching? Don't you have something to be doing? Like, why you?
I think probably in that first immediate moment, she was probably just glad to see someone she knew.
Right.
So
I mean, I get that, but then it's gonna be like, hey, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be watching somebody? Like,
yeah.
why didn't you?
That'll probably be the first 5 minutes of the next episode. Like, wait a minute, why are you here? What are you doing here? How did you get here? Like, aren't you supposed to be babysitting right now?
Right. Don't you got shit to do?
Right. But again, if he's showing up like he showed up at the end of the cohort episode, he's showing up here, that can't be good. That can't be good. He's up to something.
Yeah. Backsliding.
It could be. Like, oh, okay, you know what? I've had enough time in this cube with these two idiots. Let me go back to my original mission and bring my
I mean, it's just like, I hope not, but it's just like it's oh my God. Just seeing him is just like, what are you doing?
I told you last episode, chaos. He is nothing but chaos. He is going to bring the chaos. And now he's somehow, Cohorte is probably going to be a part of it. Peggy Carter is probably going to be a part of it. Not willingly, but
very unwillingly.
Yeah, because I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything good that he's going to do. Especially after he tried so hard to do the other thing for so long. It's like, he didn't really have any time to rehabilitate. So yeah,
how would he? You can't be rehabilitated by sitting there watching two people
but that's what I'm saying. Right. So it's kind of like he's about to do some dumb shit. I just feel.
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. When I'm like, you really gonna leave him up to his own devices, Watu? Like, you really gonna trust this dude to just not do anything? Come on.
I think
Watu has been on the job for too long. He needs a break. Like, he needs someone to come relieve him for a lunch hour so he can go get something to eat.
I think Watu probably knows he's gonna do some stupid shit, but he's like, you know what? If he does some stupid shit, it's probably gonna be the death of him. So fuck it. Do what you got to do. Yeah, maybe I'll be done with you. I ain't gotta worry about it. So bye.
Or like Hanako said, he's just so bored that he's like, you know what? Let's just see what happens.
Right.
No, we've been through this before. No, him being bored and looking at shit is how we got fucking Ultron. Like that's like, and not interfering. That's how the fuck we got Ultron.
Let's just see what happens.
No, I ain't trying to see. No, I ain't trying to see none of that shit again. No, I already saw that episode. No, I'm good.
I mean, he did a lot of damage the first time, so
a lot.
I don't know.
He didn't. It wasn't his fault that Ultron got the Infinity Gauntlet. That really wasn't his fault, was it?
It was his fault. He's the one that was narrating and talking like, yes, now Ultron, and Ultron was like, who the fuck
Ultron. Wait, who's that?
Who are you? And he's like, oh shit.
He was like, oh.
Yeah, see it is his fault for talking too much. His big ass mouth is the reason that Ultron found his ass and got in between there.
Yeah,
shit.
I will say that
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I agree with you, sir. I do.
Seeing the Hulk with facial hair is very weird.
See, are you?
You've
not
never
really
seen Maestro.
The same reaction when you see Cap with a beard, are you?
Cap with a beard, totally different. Even the cartoon version, totally different.
So you've never? I'm sorry, you don't read the comic books. Yeah, Maestro.
No, it's like Maestro has a beard.
Hulk in the future, and he looks dirty as fuck.
I mean,
it just, I don't know, something about the beard with the green skin, it just doesn't flow.
Yeah, this
properly.
Hulk basically looks like Maestro, a younger Maestro without the gray hair, because Maestro has like a full beard and is like just like a motherfucker. Like he's fucking
Yeah, it
bad
was
news.
weird.
He's a
But
bad,
yeah,
bad
but
dude,
it
bad
was
guy.
cool as shit. I mean, it's like
They
Hulk,
had him
what
as the man in the
peace.
iron mask.
So, and for a split second, I looked and I saw someone green and an iron mask. I was like, "Is that Doctor Doom? Are they bringing Doom?" I was like, "Oh, that's okay. That's Banner. Never mind. Okay, carry on."
I
Yeah,
think,
I
same.
got
you
my
know,
hopes up that high. I was like,
Mm,
"Oh shit!"
no,
Like
little
that
less
high.
than yours. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah, like
all
yeah.
you had to
yeah.
do was
Like,
pay attention to the opening credits and you would have seen Mark Ruffalo's name.
I
Well,
mean,
I
because
wouldn't have assumed that that was Mark Ruffalo right there at that moment. That moment, it was like, oh my god, Doctor Doom. Oh wait, no, it's not.
right,
Damn.
exactly. It's like Mark. I mean, Mark. They could have had Mark Ruffalo in there later. It's like he didn't have to be the Hulk. He could have just been a scientist
He could have been hanging out and drinking buddies with with Tony
with
Stark.
Tony Stark. Exactly. I mean, he didn't turn to the Hulk in the Christmas special, and he was there. There's no
Drink,
guarantee that he would.
drinking at 9 o'clock in the morning.
He's like, great alcohol. He's like, yeah, it's a real pick me up, isn't it? Like, goddamn. You just
So
drinking some
this
coffee?
Tony in this episode was kind of like the Tony from Iron Man 1, but a whole lot younger, I feel like. And it was just like he's smart, but he's also very irresponsible.
With all the alcohol. This is the alcoholic version of
Yeah.
Tony
Right.
Stark from
This is the
Right.
the
pre-demon in the bottle,
original.
Tony.
Yeah, the original Iron Man. Yeah,
Right.
Hmm.
straight up alcoholic.
And a Tony without Happy, because Happy was kind of sort of evil.
He's like the sheriff of Nottingham, basically.
Okay, so evil in this
Yeah.
one.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Evil and bumbling. A bumbling evil,
Bumbling, evil, and very attached to that damn feather on his hat.
that fucking feather, man. Yeah.
Because
And you,
okay,
hey,
so
hey, you want to call Happy kind of smart? Come on now.
I'm I'm just saying, the little serum could have affected him a little bit more negatively than anticipated.
Well, it's like Doctor what was his name said the serum makes you more of what you are,
Or
but
what you are.
he didn't have the
Dr.
serum. He
Erskine.
had Hulk's blood, so it's not the same thing.
Right. Right. But it was funny because when they were sitting there and he was attacking them in their quote unquote secret treehouse that apparently is not so secret. When they were attacking and everything, and Bucky was kind of going back and forth, just teasing him, he almost hits the feather. And Happy said something about watch the feather, blah, blah, blah. I was like, why is he worried about a feather? Like, you should be worried about your life. And then later on in the episode, when we see him and Steve fighting, Steve accidentally cuts the ribbon, I mean the feather, and immediately his face changed. He was like, "Oh, Happy, I'm so sorry. I can get you another feather." And I was like, "Why is he so worried?" And then
And
you
also Steve was in the background. I mean, Tony was in the background, like, oh shit, you cut his feather. Gotta go.
right, because I was like, "What's so important about this?" Oh, his face has changed. Oh, they brought that version of Happy into this. So,
They brought Hulk Hogan in the 1602.
and he still had the not necessarily the funny one-liners like he did in the What If Happy Hogan Saved Christmas episode, but the name calling. Like, I didn't even get a chance to write it all down because he's literally sitting there, name after name after name after name. And I was like, how?
Yeah, he was rattling them off. I was like, damn, hold up, what? Damn.
Right. And it was interesting because I was sitting here thinking that because the serum that he injected himself with was like a derivative of the Hulk's, you would think the Hulk might maybe be a little bit stronger, but Hulk was getting his ass handed to him. And I was
Yeah,
like, this is
I don't know.
not
I
good.
like to think he was kind of holding back a little bit.
Who, the Hulk? You think so?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he didn't want to
Like,
hurt him.
yeah.
Oh, okay. But that Hulk was he was pissed off. First of all, he was like, look, I was enjoying my peace. I had my mask on my face. There was quiet in my cell. And then y'all start shooting it up, which technically speaking is Peggy's fault because she was trying to get to him. But he was just like, I'm so sick of all of y'all. Like, I'm done. I'm about to smash all of you. I think Tony at one point was like, okay, no Hulk next time. Because the Hulk was kind of destroying everything, but I think most of that was happy, all because of a damn feather. But
I mean,
I just want to I want to shout out Scott Lang for I love to swashbuckle. That was great.
yeah, and
He's like,
hey,
Perry,
shout for Happy
repost.
bringing back Happy bringing back Rapscallion in one of his myriad verbal takedowns of the Hulk. I'm like,
right.
yeah, you don't really hear Rapscallion anymore. Like,
No, you
I
don't.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to love that word. Like when I was watching like Errol Flynn and shit. It's like Rapscallion. Like that's such a cool word. But
Um, I
I
need
just
a
want to say
live
Nebula.
action.
Oh,
I
I'm
need a
sorry,
live
Nebula.
action with Bucky as a swashbuckler.
yeah, I got.
I need to see that.
Why? Because he just killed everybody. Like,
But I mean, but he looks good doing it. So it's like I'm there for it.
I just wanted to say Nebula got a shout out with the Nebula's Observatory,
I
and
saw
Oh,
the
so
that.
did
Isle
I
of
saw.
Groot.
Ego got a shout out, and so did Groot.
Yep, Groot's Groves. He was
Groot Groves. But no love for the Falcon.
oh,
None
okay,
whatsoever.
Anthony. Okay. And I'm a huge Falcon person. Like that's my boy. Let it go. Let it go.
No love for Rhodey. Just
Hmm.
saying.
I'm 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 sitting this one out because I can't come up with a good enough argument against it. So
Just let it
cool.
go. Let it go. There had a lot of people in this episode.
We have a lot of people in this
Even the
episode.
Red Skull was the executioner.
And
Still no
he got to
Falcon,
fight with Cap, which was cool.
which was cool. Yeah.
Oh,
Was he
this is
fighting Cap or
cool.
was he fighting Bucky?
Oh, you're right. I think it was Bucky, which is also appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, he was, and I remember seeing him, and I was like, "Oh wait, the risk, okay." But okay, so Anthony, okay, I can kind of see I can see your point. I can
Yeah.
see your point. So, but I don't. Maybe we'll see Sam in the third season. Maybe there was actually a legitimate reason for him to not appear in this season. I mean, because did we see, what did we see him in last season? We saw him in the zombies episode,
Yeah.
and
Did he have wait, was he see I don't remember. Did he have speaking lines in the zombie episode?
Uh,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Zombies.
So I don't
Zombies.
know, but maybe next season we'll see some more characters. I think maybe they just kept it to like the central characters that kind of carried over from last season, except for Nick.
Yeah.
But Nick Fury always pops up in like the most weirdest of places
Yeah. Falcon didn't have any speaking lines
in season 1.
in season one. No.
Okay. 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 But yeah, so let's see. Oh, Scarlet Witch. Okay, so my question is, how are you the most powerful being in the universe, but you have to bring somebody from another universe to help you with this problem? That, like you
Well,
said, Anthony, you were kind of holding your own there at the end.
I think she needed a solution. I think everything she tried wasn't working,
Mm.
and she was trying something different. I think
That
that
also
that
did
was
not work.
It's
yeah.
probably
Well,
exhausting for her to keep using her powers to close it up, using powers to close it up. and she's like, you know what? I'm tired. All right,
Well,
let's figure.
technically, it did work. Like they came up,
Well,
they came up with a different solution, and it
Yeah,
worked.
well,
yeah,
no,
towards
but
the
it's like
end.
her.
But you have to think about what Thor said. She had been there for I don't know how long, but he was like, "You haven't done anything so far." So,
Well, when her back was against the wall and her head was going to the chopping block, she she came up with a solution real quick.
yeah.
Mhm.
But also I think it was good because she needed help, and I guess she realized it wasn't a one person solution that was needed. Like literally several people had to work together, and even Scarlet Witch and Nick Fury had to betray the king because they figured out what the plan was, or Nick Fury was like, hey, okay, so I still have Carter working on this, but when the time comes, Scarlet Witch, I'm going to need you to intervene and keep the king at bay so we can get this done. Because that and that's literally what you see happen, because Scarlet Witch, while she's holding the portal open, she has to subdue Thor. Thor's like, oh, you traitor. She was like, I'm so sorry, but yeah, we need her to fix this problem. And you're not being a help.
Shout out to them doing kind of an abstract parallel of Scarlet Witch in Infinity War when she was trying to bust the stone in Vision's head and keep Thanos at bay.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an abstract
Mhm.
kind of parallel to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a
But
lot. There's a lot that they try to put into like a lot of these what ifs. It's just like kind of subliminal, suggestive like little scenes or like parts lines of or lines that they say that
mm-hmm.
are like kind of harken back like send your mind back to where they came from and
Yeah.
just kind of links things together.
These little flashes of deja vu
Hmm.
make you
You're like, oh
think back. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But the episode was fun also because 1602, you have a lot of the speech is different, the behavior is different, and sometimes it's fun to see that, like you're in this Shakespearean period, which I don't know what it is about Shakespeare, but it's just one of those things. Someone starts reciting and you just sit there like, huh. And it's Tom Hiddleston, so yeah, just that's how the episode started, and it was fun. um I love the fact that she took his skull from him so that she could start using it to beat on some of the soldiers. And he was
My
like,
Yorick. My
but
Yorick.
again,
The
Thor,
last for York.
yeah, but Thor and Loki were fairly useless in this episode up until except for Thor up until the end. He wasn't really doing anything, and Loki was literally just sitting there like, okay, whatever. And
No,
what was
Loki,
it? I
Loki,
think
Loki
Carter
was
said,
basically Loki was basically Matt Damon in this. Is Matt Damon Loki in this whole thing? It's just like all he was doing was acting and sitting around. It's like that's all he was is the Matt Damon version.
right. And what was it? I think Peggy said something to Thor about him
Yeah,
being
she said. Yeah, she said you're more of a drama queen than your brother, and he was like, oh, bless.
less.
That was funny as shit. I was like, yeah, that was fucking awesome.
But I mean, she was right, because Thor really
Yeah,
was being a drama queen in this one. Like, dude, this woman is trying to save your universe. She could have gone home. The Witcher offered her a ride. She could have got,
watch it.
she could have jumped in with him, took off, and been like, okay, y'all just whatever. I don't care.
Yeah,
Y'all aren't my people. She could have. And I
should
understand
have.
he was mad.
Ungrateful some bitch. She should have. She should have been like, all right, well, all y'all getting vacuumed up in the sky.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And I mean, she saved Loki from the first one.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. But again, going back to Steve and Peggy, Tony's device reveals that he is the forerunner. He's gonna have to go back to his time. And Peggy is like so heartbroken. She's like, I can't lose you again. And even everybody over there on the side was like, oh. Bucky, Scott Lang, even Happy Hogan in his hulked out state was looking like, what's gonna happen? What are they gonna do? Like they were watching a live action soap opera. But I guess they've gone back to their times now, and Peggy is once again stuck out of time. But Strange Supreme is there. And like I said, if he's there, ain't nothing good about to come out of it.
Nah.
At all.
Mm-mm.
And the next episode is the last episode for this season. So, yeah, lots of chaos. What'd you say?
Get to see what his ass is up to. We get to see what his ass is up to. So, I don't know. I kind of can't wait, but then I'm like, nah. I don't know. This ain't gonna be good at all.
Hey,
We're just gonna be mad.
Us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Chaos.
Chaos. Chaos.
Yep.
That's all it can be. Nothing. It can't be anything good. And if he's not, the other thing is, if he's not guarding Killmonger and Ultron, who is? And if no one, where are?
What is he using them for? What is he using that power
right. And that can't be good either.
That's definitely not good.
So I don't know. He's coming to get Carter. He came to get Cohorty. I mean, Cohorty, well, because I was gonna say she would be strong enough if he was trying to replace himself with her, as far as watching over them. I think she would be strong enough to handle it, but I don't know.
He's like he's he's so OP. I don't know if she could stop him. No. He's one of those characters that they created and they're probably like, we have to figure out a way to kind of take him out of the equation.
Right.
You know. Ultron and Killmonger were OP, but they cancel each other out. They're stuck because they're still fighting. But like he's walking around. The man, he literally destroyed an entire universe. Was gonna destroy others.
Mm-hmm.
He has absorbed every possible mystical creature there is. He is way overpowered.
Yeah, I forgot about that part.
He's way overpowered.
Okay. So I don't know.
But you're right. If he's walking around, there's a problem.
Yeah.
He's just bounced between. Look at him. He's just bounced between multiverses.
Right. Because Cohorty and Captain Carter and two chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos. That's all it is. Chaos. He's about to do some damage. Okay.
And I think he only got Peggy because she knows him and she might trust him a little bit and he might need that.
Right.
But she also knows about what he did, right?
Yeah, but in the end, he did the right thing.
So there's he's not really, he has to really give her a reason to think that he's changed, that he's back to his old ways. He really hasn't. It's just he's just basically like an old friend coming by for a drink. So it's like,
yeah, he just showed up. He's hey, what's up? I got a story for you. Peg.
Okay. So we just know this last episode about to be very chaotic.
Yeah.
Probably going to be a lot of fighting. It's probably going to be some dying. So I don't know.
Some kind of sacrifice.
But for what? That's the thing. Like, he can't still be on the whole, I got to bring Christine back trip. Like, he did it for, I mean, in his time, it was like hundreds of years, right? What he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can't still be on that trip, especially after what happened.
Think about, like, even we saw it with Loki. Like, how many times did he run those
Oh,
scenarios?
Oh
yeah.
God, like forever.
He
Yeah.
he did it. I think someone calculated it was like several hundred, or maybe 1,000 years.
Thousands.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
thousands
like
of years that he did
first he
it.
was running them again. Then he went and learned everything that Ouroboros and Victor learned. That was more centuries. And then he went back when he had figured out that he had to stop her from killing He Who Remains. And that's more time that he went back. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of
Yeah.
fucking time.
I know we
That's
haven't
like
talked
thousands
about
of
it.
years. We're talking
I
about
know
thousands of
that
years.
was thousands of years. I know we didn't talk about it, but that was a cool line where he tells he remains. Oh, you don't think we haven't had this conversation already?
He was like,
Yeah. Okay.
that
Right.
shit was cool as fuck. Yeah, we
Okay.
already
Oh, he's
talked
like,
about that.
oh.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, yeah, he's so obsessed with I already forgot her name.
Christine.
Christine, hundreds and hundreds of years of trying to save her life.
Which again is so weird to me because even in the live action, that first movie, I just did not see this is my soulmate. This is the love. I did not get that vibe.
No,
So the
not at all.
fact that he's doing okay.
Yeah, it was definitely one sided. Like it's like one side was definitely more obsessed than the other side. It's just
Yeah.
like yeah,
Probably because nobody else would date his arrogant ass. So that could be it too.
And it wasn't
there's
meant
that.
to be because it needed to happen so he could become Doctor Strange. That's why
Right.
it's Fixed Point.
And maybe that's the I don't know, maybe that's the thing that he's just not accepting in this world that they are not meant to be together. So, okay.
It's like Uncle Ben dying. I do like how Marvel has kind of kept that thread going that there are things that have to happen,
Mm-hmm.
for in order for things to be the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
So then you in spoiler for those who haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse,
Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
that every iteration of
Yeah.
Spider-Man has lost their father figure.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is a fixed thing that has to happen.
Yeah.
And then we see when it doesn't happen, it creates an incursion.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Or well, that's what Miguel says, but we don't know if he was telling the truth. Anyway, that's another story for another time.
That's another
Yeah,
story for
yeah,
another time. Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So one episode left. Doctor Strange is on some bullshit. We already know this.
Mhm.
Um, I don't even know if I'm gonna like I'm not even gonna make any assumptions. I'm not gonna make any guesses. I just know Doctor Strange, Cohorty, and Captain Carter, they all have to appear in the episode because other than that, what was the point of him going to get them?
Right.
So we at least know those three will be in the episode. What else happens? Don't know. But it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. And we
Well, I guess like with Cohorty, he needs a very powerful teleporter,
have
and Peggy's like an anchor. So maybe it has something to do with multiverse. So,
mm,
but the Watcher's not involved, so
Or we
that
think
that
he's
makes
we
it
not.
know
shady.
of. That we
He
not
might
know of.
just
He's just sitting over to the side, like,
he was sitting there like
what is he about to do
proceed.
now? Right.
And
Okay.
he's powerful enough to hide from the Watcher.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think
That's a
he
good point.
is.
But I mean, well,
Because the Watcher would know that he wasn't where he was supposed to
right.
be.
That's what I was about to say. But the watcher would know that he's not where he left him. But yeah, I guess if he can hide, then I mean, it's not really too much the watcher can do if he can't find him. All he
Mhm.
knows is okay. Let me now. I got to step over here and keep an eye on them because he's not. Hmm.
Right.
He may not even know. Again, he may not know. Like Strange Supreme could be powerful enough to to make it appear that he's where he's supposed to be.
Oh,
I mean, he is powerful. He can make like multiples of himself to make it seem like he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and then
He
he be
he may
doing
be
something.
shielding Peggy from the Watcher. Like the Watcher may have assumed that she went back to where she was supposed to, like everybody else.
hmm.
I mean, going back to Multiverse of Madness, it's like Scarlet Witch was reading the Darkhold and shielded Strange from knowing it until he figured that shit out. Until she slipped up. If she
Right.
wouldn't have slipped up, there's a good chance he probably wouldn't have figured that shit out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, you guys have anything else to say about this episode?
I
Oh
really
yeah,
enjoyed
shout.
it. I
Hmm?
really enjoyed it. It was a great episode. Probably my favorite one of the season because it was just
Really?
wild and wacky.
Okay.
And
It's pretty
you
close,
know,
yeah.
other than Falcon and Rhodey not being in it,
Damn it! Look, man. Okay,
it was pretty good.
shout out to them bringing back the Destroyer robot for that like tore up their treehouse. I
Yes.
that
They
shit
even
was
brought
I was
back a robot.
You know what, Anthony? Let it go.
go
Let
ahead.
let it
Yeah,
go.
but it's like I did enjoy this. I thoroughly enjoyed, especially Tony freaking out about like hearing radioactive. It's like radioactive and flux capacitor. I was just
Mhm.
like that part was really funny to me. I loved
And
his
there
whole
was
vibe.
something else she said that excited him too. I don't remember what it was.
It's radioactive flux capacitor.
Oh, the chamber, the arc reactor.
Arc reactor.
She
Yeah,
said arc reactor. Mm-hmm. And he got, oh, you're using those words again. I was like, okay, this is getting a little weird, Tony.
yeah. And Tony's a little weird, so yeah, this was a good episode. I'm I wouldn't mind seeing. I almost wouldn't mind seeing like a throw off show of Peggy and the Watcher just like going around, just like having wacky adventures. That's kind of an intriguing pair for me. I kind of like that.
I like the fact that she is aware of him because it does, I think it brings a little bit more nuance to his storytelling as well. Because
Right.
now that he knows someone is aware of him, it may make him a little more cognizant of what he is or what he isn't doing in terms of
Yeah.
all of these universes. And just like with Peggy, he tried to bring her back or take her back to her time because he was like, this timeline is destined, it's supposed to die. And she was like, not on my watch. And you see, she actually saved that timeline because she didn't give up. So maybe it might make him rethink some things about what is supposed to and not supposed to happen. You
Yeah.
know, could be. But okay. So we have one episode left of season 2 of What If. And then we are getting a season 3, and I don't know when that will come. Hopefully we won't have to wait another 2 years for it. But as soon as
Mm.
we have some information, we will let y'all know. But for now, that is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social medias at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.